Commander Elena Santos stood at the bridge of the ERS Aegis, watching the vast expanse of space through the ship's quantum glass viewport. The emergency response vessel's sensors had picked up something unprecedented, a signal that defied conventional physics, transmitted through what appeared to be a fold in space-time itself. "Analysis complete, Commander," Lieutenant Kai Chen announced from his station, his voice carrying a mix of excitement and disbelief. "The signal's structure suggests it's artificial, but it's using principles of quantum entanglement we've never seen before. Whatever made this isn't just advanced. They're operating on a completely different level of scientific understanding." Elena moved to Kai's station, studying the cascading data streams on his holographic display. In her 15 years with Earth's emergency response fleet, she'd seen everything from collapsed solar colonies to quantum singularity breaches. But this was different. The signal wasn't just a cry for help. It was an achievement in physics that made humanity's most advanced technology look primitive by comparison. "Distance to source?" she asked, though she already knew the answer would complicate matters. "Approximately 47 light-years, Commander. But here's the interesting part. The signal isn't being delayed by relativistic effects. Whatever they're using for transmission, it's operating outside normal space-time constraints." The bridge crew maintained their professional composure, but Elena could feel the electric tension in the air. Humanity had dreamed of finding advanced alien civilizations since they first looked up at the stars. Now they had not only found one but discovered them in need of assistance. It was exactly the sort of situation the emergency response fleet had been created to handle, even if no one had seriously expected first contact to happen this way. "Dr. Patel," Elena called to their xenobiologist, "what's your assessment of the signal's content?" Dr. Aisha Patel looked up from her specialized biological analysis station, her dark eyes bright with fascination. "The mathematical sequences embedded in the transmission suggest a civilization at least type II on the Kardashev scale. But there's something else. The signal patterns show signs of degradation. Whatever they're using to transmit is failing." Elena processed this information, her mind already formulating potential rescue scenarios. The Aegis was humanity's most advanced rescue vessel, equipped with experimental technologies that most civilian ships wouldn't see for decades. But rushing to aid a civilization that far exceeded their technological understanding carried its own risks. "Commander," Kai interrupted her thoughts. "Incoming transmission from Fleet Command. Admiral Chen requesting immediate conference." The holographic form of Admiral Lisa Chen materialized in the center of the bridge, her expression grave. "Commander Santos, I assume you've analyzed the signal." "Yes, Admiral. We're looking at a potentially critical situation involving a highly advanced civilization. The Aegis stands ready to respond." The Admiral's hologram flickered slightly as she nodded. "The Security Council has already convened an emergency session. This isn't just a rescue mission anymore, Elena. This is first contact with a civilization that could reshape humanity's understanding of the universe. But there's a complication." Elena felt her stomach tighten. In her experience, complications during rescue operations usually meant the difference between life and death. "What kind of complication, Admiral?" "Our quantum telescopes have detected massive energy signatures near the signal source. Something's happening out there, something big. We're picking up radiation patterns consistent with weapon discharges on a scale we've never seen before." The Admiral's hologram gestured, bringing up a tactical display that made several bridge officers gasp. "Whoever sent this distress signal, they're in the middle of what appears to be a war. A war being fought with weapons that could tear apart stars." Elena studied the tactical display, her trained eye picking up patterns in the chaos. "They're not just fighting, Admiral. They're losing. Those energy signatures show a clear pattern of retreat." "Correct. Which is why the Security Council has authorized Operation Sanctuary. The Aegis won't be going alone. You'll be leading a fleet of our most advanced ships on this mission. Your orders are to establish contact, render any assistance possible, and if necessary, offer sanctuary to survivors. But Commander, The Admiral's expression hardened. Under no circumstances are you to allow this advanced technology to fall into hostile hands. If we can't save them, we need to ensure whatever's hunting them doesn't get any stronger. The implications were clear. This wasn't just a rescue mission. It was a potential military operation that could determine the future of human civilization. Alina felt the weight of command settle more heavily on her shoulders. Understood, Admiral. How many ships can I expect? The 7th Emergency Response Fleet is being reassigned to your command. 12 ships, including 3 Prometheus-class heavy rescue vessels. They're the best we have, Alina. Whatever you find out there, remember, humanity's first impression on the galactic stage will be through your actions. As the Admiral's hologram faded, Alina turned to her crew. They were the finest emergency responders Earth had to offer, trained to handle impossible situations and save lives against all odds. Now they would attempt something unprecedented, a rescue operation that could change the course of human history. Signal all ships, she ordered, her voice clear and confident. Set course for the signal source. Whatever we find out there, we do what we always do. We help those in need, we protect the innocent, and we show the universe that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our determination to do what's right, no matter the odds. The Aegis's quantum drives hummed to life, followed by 11 other ships of the rescue fleet. As they prepared to jump into the unknown, Alina couldn't help but wonder what they would find at the signal source. But one thing was certain. Humanity's first steps onto the galactic stage would be guided not by conquest or curiosity, but by their fundamental drive to help others in need. The rescue fleet disappeared into quantum space, leaving behind a solar system that seemed suddenly smaller, more provincial. Humanity was about to discover just how ready they were to face the challenges of a universe far more complex and dangerous than they had imagined. The quantum transition ended with a flash of reality-bending light, and Commander Santos felt her breath catch at the sight before them. The region of space they'd emerged into was a battlefield unlike anything humanity had ever witnessed. Massive structures that dwarfed Earth's largest space stations drifted in pieces, their crystalline surfaces reflecting the light of nearby stars. Energy weapons that could vaporize planets crisscrossed the void, illuminating the darkness with deadly beauty. Multiple contacts. Lieutenant Chen's voice cut through the stunned silence, reading 2 distinct technological signatures. The smaller group matches our distress signal source, 7 vessels, heavily damaged. The attacking force. He paused, double-checking his readings. 32 ships, unknown configuration. Their energy outputs are off the charts. Through the quantum glass viewport, Alina watched as one of the damaged vessels unleashed what appeared to be a directed quantum singularity at its pursuers. The weapon should have been devastating, but the attacking ships simply shifted, their hull geometries reorganizing to channel the gravitational forces harmlessly away. Dr. Patel, what are we looking at? Alina demanded, her mind already formulating tactical options. The xenobiologist's fingers flew across her console. The defenders appear to be the Nexus, Commander. Their technology operates on principles of quantum manipulation we've only theorized about. The attackers, she frowned. They're calling themselves the Dominion. Their ships aren't just machines. They're adaptive technological organisms capable of evolving in real time to counter any threat. Commander, Kai interrupted. We're being hailed. Both sides are attempting contact. Alina straightened her uniform. This was the moment that would define humanity's first steps into a larger galaxy. Put them both through. Split screen. The bridge's main display divided, showing 2 radically different forms of life. On the left, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline matrix, a Nexus elder. On the right, a creature that seemed to be a fusion of organic and mechanical parts, its form constantly shifting and adapting. This is Commander Alina Santos of the Earth Emergency Response Fleet. We're responding to a distress signal. The Nexus Elder's voice resonated directly in their minds, carrying centuries of wisdom and desperate urgency. Your response brings hope, young ones. We are the last survivors of our civilization. The Dominion seeks to erase us, claiming that lesser species have no right to achieve our level of advancement. The Dominion commander's response came as a series of mechanical clicks translated into harsh, artificial speech. This conflict does not concern your primitive species. The Nexus violated universal law by achieving quantum ascension without proper evolution. Their existence threatens the natural order. Leave now, or share their fate. Elena felt the weight of history on her shoulders. Her response here wouldn't just affect this battle. It would define humanity's place in the galaxy. She thought of all the rescue missions she'd led, all the times humanity had faced impossible odds to save lives. With respect, she replied, her voice firm, the very concept of restricting technological advancement violates everything humanity stands for. We've risen from stone tools to quantum ships, not because we had permission, but because we refused to accept limitations. The Nexus called for help, and we've answered. Then you have chosen extinction. The Dominion commander declared, your primitive vessels cannot hope to. Lieutenant Chen, Elena interrupted. Execute emergency protocol Omega. All ships, combat formation Delta. What happened next would be studied in military academies across the galaxy for centuries to come. The human rescue fleet, outgunned and outnumbered, demonstrated why Earth's emergency response fleet was considered the most innovative force in human space. The 12 ships split into precisely coordinated pairs, their experimental quantum drives synchronized in ways their designers had never intended. Energy began to build between each pair, creating artificial quantum fields that mimicked the Nexus's advanced technology on a crude but effective scale. You see, Elena explained to both watching commanders, humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our ability to adapt, to take what we have and use it in ways no one expected. We're not here to fight a war. We're here to save lives. But if you force us to defend ourselves, you'll learn why every advanced civilization should fear humanity's creativity. The Dominion ships launched their first attack, expecting to easily overwhelm the primitive human vessels. Instead, they found themselves facing an enemy that refused to behave according to any predictable pattern. The paired human ships used their synchronized quantum fields to redirect enemy fire, turning the Dominion's own energy weapons against them. Dr. Patel, Elena called out, what's the status of the Nexus ships? Their quantum cores are failing, Commander. Whatever we're going to do, we need to do it fast. Elena nodded, her decision made. Signal the Nexus vessels. Tell them to fall back behind our formation. Lieutenant Chen, prepare to execute emergency protocol Lambda. The bridge crew exchanged knowing looks. Protocol Lambda was theoretical, untested, a desperate gambit that could either save them all or tear their ships apart. As the massive Dominion fleet pressed their attack, humanity prepared to demonstrate why they had survived every catastrophe their world had thrown at them. They weren't the most advanced species in this battle, but they were about to prove why determination and ingenuity could overcome any technological gap. The rescue fleet's quantum drives began to pulse in perfect synchronization, creating a cascading resonance that even the Dominion's adaptive technology couldn't predict. They were about to attempt something that defied conventional physics, not through advanced technology, but through humanity's unique ability to push beyond accepted limitations. Protocol Lambda began with what appeared to be a catastrophic failure. The quantum drives of all 12 human vessels screamed in protest as they were pushed far beyond their design specifications. Emergency klaxons blared across every ship as structural integrity warnings flashed on every display. Hull stress at 180% of maximum tolerance, Lieutenant Chen reported, his voice steady despite the situation. Quantum field coherence destabilizing. Commander, we have maybe 2 minutes before the ships start breaking apart. Elena watched as the massive Dominion fleet adjusted their formation, their biological mechanical ships already adapting to counter what they perceived as a desperate last stand. but they didn't understand what humanity had learned through centuries of facing extinction-level threats. Sometimes the most effective solution was to embrace chaos itself. Dr. Patel, status of the quantum resonance pattern. Elena demanded, watching as the space between the human ships began to distort in ways that shouldn't have been possible. The pattern is forming exactly as predicted, Commander, Aisha replied, her eyes locked on readings that defied conventional physics. The Dominion ships are already trying to adapt, but they're adapting to what they think we're doing, not what we're actually doing. That was humanity's true advantage. Not technology, not numbers, but their ability to think in ways that more advanced species considered irrational or impossible. Protocol Lambda wasn't an attack. It was proof that sometimes the best way to win was to change the rules of the game entirely. Signal from the Nexus ships, Kai announced. They're asking if we've lost our minds. Their sensors indicate we're about to tear a hole in the fabric of space-time itself. Elena allowed herself a small smile. Tell them that's exactly the point. All ships, execute final phase on my mark. The quantum drives of the human fleet pulsed in perfect synchronization, their carefully calculated resonance creating a cascade effect that even the Dominion's adaptive technology couldn't predict or counter. The space between the ships began to fold in ways that violated every known law of physics, creating what appeared to be a localized breakdown of reality itself. Dominion fleet is responding, Kai reported. They're retreating. Their adaptive algorithms can't calculate a safe response to what we're doing. That's because we're not following any logical pattern, Elena explained, watching as the mighty Dominion ships began to pull back. Their entire technology is based on adapting to and countering rational actions, but humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to do the completely irrational when the situation demands it. The space between the human ships had become a maelstrom of quantum instability, a deliberately created zone where the normal rules of physics no longer applied. It wasn't achieved through advanced technology, but through humanity's unique willingness to push beyond accepted limitations and take calculated risks that more advanced species would consider insane. Commander, Dr. Patel's voice carried a note of awe. The Nexus ships. They're using our quantum disruption as a power source. They're actually drawing energy from the chaos we've created to repair their systems. Through the quantum blast viewport, Elena watched as the crystalline ships of the Nexus began to glow with renewed energy, their damaged systems regenerating using the very instability that the human fleet had created. It was a perfect example of cooperation between species, humanity's controlled chaos feeding the Nexus's advanced technology. Dominion fleet is continuing their withdrawal, Kai reported. Their ships appear to be having difficulty maintaining structural cohesion, this close to our quantum disruption field. Whatever they expected from a primitive species, this wasn't it. The bridge of the Aegis fell silent as they watched the mighty Dominion armada retreat, their adaptive ships unable to cope with a strategy that defied logical analysis. It was humanity's first major victory on the galactic stage, achieved not through superior technology or overwhelming force, but through their unique ability to think beyond conventional limitations. Signal from the Nexus flagship, Kai announced. They're requesting permission to dock. Their Elder Council wishes to speak with us directly. Elena nodded, already anticipating the conversations to come. The galaxy was about to learn why humanity's emergency response fleet had earned its reputation for achieving the impossible. They had just demonstrated that sometimes the most primitive approach, the willingness to risk everything on a solution that more advanced species would consider insane, was exactly what was needed. Stand down from Protocol Lambda, she ordered. Begin power down sequence and prepare for emergency repairs. And someone get me a direct line to Admiral Chen. I think the Security Council is going to be very interested in what just happened here. As the quantum disruption field began to dissipate, Elena could see the Dominion fleet disappearing into faster-than-light travel, retreating from what they had dismissed as a primitive species. They had learned what countless others would soon discover, that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology or their numbers, but their unique combination of determination, creativity, and the willingness to attempt what more advanced species considered impossible. The Nexus ships moved closer, their crystalline structures still glowing with energy absorbed from the human fleet's controlled chaos. In fighting alongside humanity, they had discovered something that would change the balance of power in the galaxy. Sometimes the most effective solution wasn't the most advanced or elegant, but the one that no rational species would ever consider attempting. The docking procedure between the ERS Aegis and the Nexus flagship defied conventional physics. The crystalline vessel extended what appeared to be a bridge of pure energy, automatically adapting its environment to support human life. As Commander Elena Santos led her delegation through this impossible corridor, she couldn't help but marvel at the contrast between their technologies, and the irony that it had been humanity's primitive approach that had turned the tide of battle. Your solution was elegant in its brutality. The Nexus Elders' thoughts resonated directly in their minds as they entered what appeared to be a conference chamber formed from living crystal. The Elders' energy form pulsed with what Elena interpreted as a mix of amusement and respect. In all our millennia of existence, we never considered creating a controlled reality breakdown as a defensive strategy. That's because you're too advanced, Elena replied, noting how Dr. Patel was barely containing her excitement at the alien technology surrounding them. You understand the physics too well. Sometimes not knowing something is impossible is humanity's greatest advantage. Lieutenant Chen, who had joined the delegation, was studying his handheld scanner with increasing confusion. The energy readings in here, they don't make sense. It's like the laws of physics are more suggestions than rules. An accurate observation, the Elder confirmed. What you call physics, we view as a framework that can be adjusted when necessary. Yet despite our mastery of fundamental forces, we found ourselves helpless against the Dominion's adaptive technology. Until you arrived. More Elders materialized in the chamber, their energy forms creating a circle around the human delegation. Their presence carried weight, not just physically, but temporally. Elena realized they were experiencing time itself differently within this chamber. We have reviewed your species' historical records, another Elder communicated. Your response to the impossible is unique. When faced with overwhelming odds, you don't simply fight. You redefine the nature of the conflict itself. It's how we survived, Elena explained. Earth tried to kill us countless times through our development. Every natural disaster, every plague, every climate shift was an extinction-level event waiting to happen. We survived by refusing to accept defeat, by finding ways to turn our disadvantages into advantages. Yes, the first Elder agreed. Your protocol Lambda demonstrated this perfectly. Instead of trying to match the Dominion's technological superiority, you created conditions where that superiority became a liability. Their adaptive technology couldn't cope with deliberate chaos because no rational species would ever attempt such a strategy. Dr. Paddle stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overcoming protocol. Your ships, they were able to use our quantum disruption field as an energy source. How is that possible? The Elder's forms brightened in what seemed to be appreciation of her question. We have learned that the universe's fundamental forces can be harnessed in countless ways. Your fleet's actions created a localized breakdown of conventional physics, while the Dominion ships tried to adapt to and counter this breakdown. We simply accepted and absorbed it. A primitive analogy would be the difference between fighting a wave and surfing it. And that's why you sent the distress signal in a way our sensors could detect, Elena realized. You weren't just calling for help. You were testing potential allies to see who would be willing to attempt an impossible rescue. Correct, the Elder confirmed. The Dominion believes that technological advancement should follow a predetermined path, that species should only gain capabilities they have earned through proper development. They see our willingness to share knowledge with younger races as a threat to their ordered universe. But you saw out humanity specifically, Lieutenant Chen interjected. Our quantum drive signatures must have caught your attention. You realized we were achieving faster than light travel through brute force rather than elegant physics. The chamber filled with what felt like ancient amusement. Your species is unique in our experience. You achieve through determination what others cannot achieve through superior technology. The Dominion's fundamental weakness is their inability to conceive of solutions that defy logical progression. You have demonstrated that sometimes the most effective approach is one that no rational species would consider. We're offering you more than gratitude, another elder communicated. The galaxy is changing. The Dominion's defeat here will not be their final attempt to enforce their vision of proper technological development. We propose an alliance, your innovative chaos combined with our fundamental understanding of reality. Elena felt the weight of the moment. This wasn't just about saving an advanced civilization anymore. This was about reshaping the galaxy's future. And what exactly would this alliance entail? We will share our knowledge, the elder explained, not as teachers to students, but as partners who complement each other's strengths. Your species sees possibilities where we see only established paths. Together, we could achieve things that neither of us could accomplish alone. The chamber's crystalline walls shifted, displaying images of potential futures. Human ships incorporating Nexus technology, joint research stations exploring the boundaries of reality itself, and defenses that combined humanity's unpredictable strategies with the Nexus's fundamental understanding of physics. The Dominion believes that advanced technology should be restricted to those who follow their approved path of development. Elena stated, understanding the larger implications. They see our victory here as proof that their philosophy is under threat. Indeed, the elder confirmed. You have demonstrated that determination and creativity can overcome superior technology. This challenges everything they believe about the proper order of civilization. They will return stronger and more adapted than before. Good, Elena replied with a smile that carried echoes of humanity's entire history of overcoming impossible odds. That means they still haven't learned the most important lesson about humanity. The more you tell us something is impossible, the more determined we become to prove you wrong. 1 month after the battle that changed the galaxy's power structure, the Earth Security Council chamber buzzed with activity. Representatives from every major Earth nation sat alongside holographic projections of Nexus elders, watching as Commander Elena Santos delivered her final report on the implications of their new alliance. The Dominion's retreat wasn't just a tactical victory, Elena explained, standing before the assembled leaders. It was proof that humanity's approach to problem-solving, what the Nexus calls our innovative chaos, can overcome even the most advanced adaptive technology. But more importantly, it's shown us that humanity's role in the galaxy will be unique. The chamber's main display showed recordings from the battle, focusing on the moment when Protocol Lambda had created a controlled breakdown of reality itself. Alongside these images were diagrams of new technologies being developed through the human-Nexus collaboration, each one combining humanity's unconventional thinking with the Nexus's fundamental understanding of physics. The Nexus has confirmed that the Dominion is reorganizing its forces, Admiral Chen added from her position beside Elena. They're adapting their strategies, preparing for what they believe will be an inevitable conflict. But they're still thinking like a rational, advanced species, and that's their weakness. One of the Nexus elders materialized in the center of the chamber, its energy form pulsing with enthusiasm. Your Admiral speaks truth. The Dominion believes that technological advancement must follow a logical progression, that species must earn each step of development through proper evolution. They cannot comprehend humanity's greatest strength, your ability to achieve through determination and creativity what should be impossible through your current level of technology. The display shifted to show the first fruits of the Human-Nexus Alliance. Earth's emergency response vessels were being upgraded with hybrid systems that combined human ingenuity with Nexus understanding. But rather than simply copying advanced technology, humanity was finding new ways to use it that even the Nexus hadn't considered. We're not just preparing for the Dominion's return, Elena continued. We're redefining what's possible. The Nexus has shown us the fundamental rules of reality, and humanity is doing what we do best, finding creative ways to bend those rules. Dr. Patel, who had been working closely with Nexus scientists, stepped forward to explain. The Dominion's adaptive technology is based on predicting and countering rational responses to threats, but humanity's approach, our willingness to attempt strategies that more advanced species would consider insane, creates scenarios their adaptation algorithms can't process. The chamber erupted in discussion as the implications became clear. Humanity wasn't just gaining access to advanced technology. They were becoming something unprecedented in the galaxy. A species that could bridge the gap between conventional advancement and impossible achievement. The Dominion will return. The Elders' thoughts resonated through the chamber. They see your existence as a threat to their ordered universe, but they still haven't grasped that trying to adapt to humanity's strategies is like trying to adapt to chaos itself. Your species doesn't simply overcome impossible odds. You redefine what's possible through sheer determination. Elena watched as the Security Council members reviewed the proposed expansion of Earth's emergency response fleet. The Nexus wasn't just offering technology. They were offering partnership in protecting younger civilizations from the Dominion's attempts to control technological advancement. It was a role perfectly suited to humanity's unique capabilities. We're not just preparing for a war, Elena addressed the Council. We're laying the groundwork for a fundamental change in how the galaxy views technological development. The Dominion believes advancement should be restricted to those who follow their approved path. We're going to prove that determination and creativity are just as important as technological sophistication. Admiral Chen stood, her expression resolute. The emergency response fleet was created to help those in need, regardless of the odds or obstacles. Now we have the chance to extend that mission to a galactic scale. The Dominion sees themselves as guardians of proper technological evolution. We'll show them that humanity's greatest achievement isn't our technology. It's our refusal to accept limitations. The Nexus Elders' form brightened. Already, your approach to combining our technologies has produced results we never imagined possible. You take our understanding of fundamental forces and use it in ways that defy conventional logic. The Dominion's greatest fear is not your growing technological capability, but your ability to achieve the impossible through methods they cannot predict or counter. As the Council chamber debated the specifics of expanding humanity's role in galactic affairs, Elena reflected on how far they'd come since receiving that first distress signal. They had set out to perform a rescue mission and ended up reshaping the galaxy's understanding of what was possible. The Dominion believes that advanced technology should be restricted to species that have earned it through proper development. She addressed the Council one final time. But humanity has proved that the most important prerequisites for advancement aren't technological sophistication or logical progression. They're determination, creativity, and the courage to attempt what others consider impossible. The Council chamber's display showed Earth's growing fleet of hybrid vessels, each one a testament to what could be achieved when human ingenuity was combined with advanced understanding. They were preparing not just to defend against the Dominion's return, but to demonstrate why humanity's unique approach to problem-solving made them the perfect protectors of technological freedom in the galaxy. The Nexus Elders' final thoughts resonated with approval. The galaxy is about to learn what your enemies have already discovered, that humanity's greatest strength isn't your technology or your numbers, but your unique ability to achieve through determination what more advanced species consider impossible. The age of restricted technological development is ending, replaced by an era where creativity and courage matter more than conventional advancement. As the Council session concluded, Elena knew they were standing at the beginning of a new chapter in human history. They had gone from being a relatively unknown species to the defenders of technological freedom in the galaxy, all because they had answered a distress call with their characteristic determination to achieve the impossible. The stars themselves seemed brighter through the Council chamber's windows, full of possibility rather than limitation. Humanity was about to show the galaxy why sometimes the most effective solution wasn't the most advanced or logical, but the one that came from refusing to accept that anything was truly impossible.